You know, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad had said, justice never sleeps. It goes to bed with you. Justice sleeps with you. When you wake up, justice is present. He's talking about the very presence of justice in your life because you decide to remain a righteous human being right in the midst of people who have done you wrong. And as long as you stay on that path, in spite of how angry you are, in spite of how disappointed you are, you help strengthen the karma that is against those who have betrayed you. I promise you that. You don't have to lose anything. You don't have to lose your life by trying to take other people's lives. You don't have to do that. The only thing you have to do is keep living. And you sit back and you watch. You sit back and you watch how justice is going to do its bidding in regards to you. You just sit back and wait. And you watch all of your enemies crumble. They're going to all crumble because they know what they're doing is wrong. And that makes their karma even more stronger. Because how can you know that you're doing someone an unjust and then still say, I believe that the divine creator is watching me? But at the same time, during your activity, your evil activity, you're also saying that the divine creator is ignorant because the divine creator cannot read into you and see what your real intentions are. Playing a very dangerous game. And I would advise all of you who are in a similar condition, just sit back and you watch karma take its course. And whatever plantation that you are on right now, you stay focused. And whatever that you have planned on prospering in your life off the plantation, you focus on that. Because the plantation is only a place where you earn the funds in order to invest in yourself. You go there to make money, to invest in yourself. You don't go there to make friends. You don't go there to make enemies. You go there to do your job effectively and objectively so that you can go home, you can rest, you can eat, you can invest in yourself. And you just sit back and you watch how God did with those who have chosen to be your enemy, while you have been nothing but loving and caring towards them. Because a whole lot of these beasts, oh yeah, they'll pray. And as soon as God bless them with their blessing, they kick God right out the door. And if they have to be reminded to get back the blessings, back to prayer, then if I was you, I wouldn't get in no prayer circle like that. Stay out of that, because that prayer circle is contaminated. Because they're not praying anymore because of what's in their heart. They're praying because someone had to remind them of their lack of prayer after they've gotten their blessing. That's a very wicked circle to be in. And a lot of people may say, why is that? It's because when you pray for blessings and God blesses you with your blessings, you can't tell me that you thank God for that blessing and all of a sudden you stop praying. You didn't thank the Creator. You got what you wanted. You got that slice of the devil's pie. And then you kick God. All right, God, thank you. You didn't even say thank you. And this is the reason why you stop praying. Because how are you going to maintain that blessing after it's given to you if you become a monster? A spirit-chucking monster. As I said before, A lot of you people who are in so-called high positions, commander this, you ain't commanding nothing, bro. You ain't commanding nothing. And you not superior over somebody simply because you hold the title supervisor. You are not superior. A lot of you lose yourselves after you gain these positions. Check yourself. If it makes you worse than you was before, get out of it. But that takes self-love. And don't worry, a lot of you are going to remain where you are because these wicked institutions are going to pay you to compromise your soul. Here, I'll pay you this. I'll pay you this much money if you continue to work for this hellhole and mistreat people and stab people in the back and be our microphone. What did he say? Well, he said this and he said that. And then it gets to the point where they get so careless, they just talk out in the open, and then a whole lot of your coworkers, hey, he said that's so. And that's the beginning of their karma, because they become careless and they think that everyone feels exactly the way that they feel. But it's okay. But you keep your heads up, you keep yourself focused, and you do what is right for yourself and your family. Regarding the title of this video, for years I've heard this. The first person that I heard this was by Minister Louis Farrakhan one night that he was speaking. And he said that this is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had told him in terms of justice / karma. But we're just going to deal with the word that Elijah Muhammad used, which is justice, since we have a, you might as well say a attachment or a romance, more of a romance with justice, considering we have been dealing with injustices, not only in this country, primarily in our personal lives, even with one another. The reason why this is such a powerful statement is because even though he used justice never sleeps, it means that, as he said, justice never sleeps. It goes to bed with you. It wakes up with you. It means that justice is always with you. You know, and as everything holds a dual component, it also means that as long as you're living right in terms of righteousness and how you treat one another and therefore yourself, because everything starts with yourself. Because for you to treat others justly, you have to first treat yourself justly, because the way you treat others, it goes in harmony with how you're treating yourself. And therefore, if you mistreat others, you in the same movement do an unjust treatment to yourself. Now, a lot of people who do unjust things to people, for some strange reason, well, actually, it's really not a strange reasoning for us who understand this. But those who do unjustly things towards other people are blinded to the fact because of their evil and their ambition, they don't see that they're doing themselves harm. Now, he said justice never sleeps. So justice is always with you. Now, on the other side is that when you do evil, you're doing evil to oneself. You're setting up a justice in a universe that's going to come back around and do just according to divine justice when you do unjust things to other people. You know, I heard Brother Malcolm said in one of his famous speeches, he said, "You haven't done the right thing to my people. And because you haven't done the right thing to my people, now I have to do the right thing by you." He's talking about justice. He's saying, you haven't done the right thing by my people. And because you have pretty much done evil to my people, now I have to do the right thing by you in terms of divine justice. So when you do evil unto yourself by doing evil to other people, and you don't have it in your heart to change your ways, justice never sleeps as long as this is going on in your mind and in your heart. It doesn't say that justice leaves you. See, one of the reasons why justice is sleeping is because you, as a human being, remain with this potential to commit those same evil acts towards one another. Now, it sleeps with you because of the evil that you've done to others. It's sleeping right now until a time of when it wakes up and it does justice, divine justice on you because of the evil that you done to other people pertaining to the injustice against those people, which is humanity itself. I'm hoping that this is explained accurately, or to the level to where you understand what's being said and what's being meant. So the only way that a person with evil intentions can stop this justice that is lingering in his or her life, then you have to resolve yourself. You know, in the Quran, it says in the Muslim prayer, and I hope that some of my Muslim brothers who I know don't take offense to this, but I don't believe that they will. It says, greatly I have turned, absolutely I have turned myself to thee, O Allah, one who created the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. And it says in the prayer, I have been greatly unjust unto myself. So the reason why it says, I have been greatly unjust unto myself, it implies that I have been greatly unjust to those outside of myself. See, what a lot of people are going to have to understand is that when you do an injustice to someone, you are actually doing it to yourself, unless you are a person that has become so blinded by your ambition, and you associated yourselves with people who are downright evil, who do nothing but feed your ambition for the sake of turning you against someone else, so that they will try to put an effort in doing an unjust to someone else, then the only thing that you're doing is promoting injustice. And what's amazing about a whole lot of people who live their lives this way, they actually think simply because Massa gave him the position that he kissed all of their backsides to get, which was coming anyway. He actually think that he was blessed by a divine force. Which is, to me, ignorant. You know, because when you do evil upon a path in order to reach a certain status in your life, when you stab people in the back, when you lie on people by way of manipulating and purposely taking out of context what they said, or you just may be ignorant and maybe you just didn't perceive what they was trying to tell you correctly. And so you went off of yourself being ignorant and you repeated these things to those other ignorant people. And so you both are swimming in a cesspool of ignorance and evil. And so what you're doing is you are coming together to try to take a man of justice and of good character. You're trying to hold his life back. You're trying to prevent him from advancement, which is a disadvantage to yourselves because of justice. You cannot do unjust acts towards someone and think that God is going to do just by you. That's not the way it works. However, when you're a narcissist, I can understand why you may perceive it that way. Because if you really perceive it that way, you can't tell me that you're serving the Creator. You're actually serving yourself. And this is why you're going to fail. So, when you are dealing with people like this, you don't have to do anything to tamper with their lives. You don't, because the Creator gives you wisdom to understand that you don't have to lay a hand on these people. You don't have to do anything to them to hurt them. They've already done it to themselves. All it takes is a matter of time. So I'm saying all of this because for all of you who are experiencing these type of things in these plantations, I'm just encouraging you to stay on that straight and narrow path. As I said in the previous video, continue to go to work, do the job effectively. Don't go there to make friends. Don't go there to make enemies. Because the plantation is just a place that you spend your time there in order for you to accumulate some money in order for you to invest in yourself. So when it all boils down to it, it's all about you. Because believe me, whether you leave on your own or whether you are unjustly terminated, believe me, and you've heard this before, those people who you somewhat got along with, after you're gone, give it a week. They're not even going to remember you. They're not going to speak up for you. They will go around and they will know that you have been greatly mistreated, and what was done to you was gravely unfair. See, they'll know these things, but they won't speak up for you because they have to maintain their position. Because when you are working on the plantation, you are considered insubordinate when you are standing up for yourself, speaking up for yourself. And your co-workers know this as well. And so they are put in the position to where if that was to happen in terms of your status there, due to the fact that so many people have been made examples in this Western society, to where if they are just people and if they stand up for themselves, they will be crucified, they will be hanged, or they will be what is called this day terminated. So for them to not want to suffer that same thing, even though they know that what transpired with you was unjust, due to the fact that this Roman Western government has put everyone in the position to where they have to bow down to all of these slave masters in order for them to maintain where they live, how they eat, and all of those necessities that have been designed and established in this society, and through the centuries have made you think and feel that these things are common necessities for your survival because this organism has demands. You're not going to speak up because they've already made examples of other people before you who did that same thing. And so you want to remain silent in order for you to preserve your economic status. And this is totally understandable. Because men, as myself, I don't need people speaking up. I can speak up for myself. I have lawyers. I have people in my corner. I can speak up for myself. So I don't need anyone speaking up for me. So I don't intend for anyone to speak up for me. If that were to happen, which it did not. I'm just making these videos to let y'all know that we are living in times where the plantation are not at these little dusty homes that they've put in all of these movies to tell you about how it was doing slavery. It was nothing. And they call it Black history. No. If the same thing is still transpiring, it is not history. It is the present. Now, we may not be on these plantation homes, in the fields, picking cotton. This day, we're in these institutions. And the pop of the whip comes from the executives. And the overseers are what they call supervisors. And the overseers are these wicked people and insidious acting people who work right alongside you. Tell them what the gun line is for, boss. You know, those type of Negroes, those type of people who kiss up to the bosses all the time. And it has gotten them absolutely nowhere, because when it's time for you to leave, You getting up out of there too, because you ain't nothing but a number as well. The whole thing is this. Go to the jobs, put your time in, pick your little cotton. Make your money. Don't make friends, don't make enemies. Put your 8 to 10 hours in, punch out, go home and invest in yourself and keep investing in your life. Because justice never sleeps. Just focus on what you need to do and invest in yourself. Because you're working around a whole lot of people that love kissing the backside of massa. They love kissing his backside. Yes, sir, you have a good night. You have a good night. I've seen brothers damn near fall down running after so-called executives or men in higher positions just to shake their hand while they're leaving. Everybody crowd around them. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Beggars. See, when you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, you don't have to kiss up to nobody. When you know what you're there for and you do what you're supposed to do, all you getting is a good morning from me. But I ain't kissing up to you. I'm not gonna boast and feed your ego. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna come, I'm gonna do it exactly what I'm supposed to do, and I'm gonna make that money, and I'm gonna finance my books. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what my mind is on. You look at the movies, and the reason why I say that's not Black history, those are not historical accounts. That's going on right today. That's going on right today. In these so-called modern times. These are modern times in terms of the infrastructure and technology. But in terms of these characteristical attributes, that's going on right today. That's going on right today in these so-called modern times. You still got field Negroes and you still got house Negroes. You still got slaves. You just paid slaves now. You're just caught up in the modern times. And that's better to deal with if you understand that. But you have to keep your self-respect. You can't sell yourself out trying to sell someone else out. Because justice never sleeps. And the only way that justice is going to have mercy on you is if you go to that person and you resolve your differences. However, some people think that they are above resolve. You have these people who will talk against people, and then when word get back to them that this person said this about you, and so you have to be wary of this person when you're around them, because this person is not on your side. And so when you protect yourself by no longer speaking to that person, because as soon as you bring this to them, due to the fact that this person is a liar and a deceiver and a narcissist, the only thing he's going to do is deny it. When he forgot, another one of his co-workers was right there in the back of the bus, hearing everything that was said. However, when you go and you advise the guilty party, hey, look, y'all need to stop this between the two of you, and you guys need to get together and communicate and resolve your differences. The primary guilty one, that is the one that always refuses. I haven't done anything. That's him. You see, that's what narcissists do. When they always say that it's someone else's fault. See, because what they say and what they do, they can do no wrong, when wrong is all they do. Wrong is all that they do. And they can't face themselves because they are so ugly on the inside, they can't even look at themselves. And that's pathetic. And if you take the time to look at yourself and you can perceive yourself as this grotesque, disgusting human being, and yet still, you still would rather not resolve your differences with other people because you're the creator. So when you pray, who do you pray to? Do you pray to the creator of consciousness and life, or do you pray to oneself? See, some people are so blind and confused. It's not that they can't see their own faults. They can see their faults. It's just that when they look at their own faults, they reject it because they have this image inside of themselves to where they are not that when they're looking right at themselves. Oh, no, that's not me. Oh, yes, it is. It is you. And when you look at yourself and you see how messed up that you are, and I'm only speaking from experience. So when you go inside and you see how ugly you are, and when you accept how ugly you are, when you accept it, there's even a dual component right there. Do you accept it and you keep moving forward? Or do you accept it and then decide to reject that? I don't want to be that anymore. And so what I have to do is end it. I have to end it myself. Like Jesus says, go and sin no more. And you have to be born again. He didn't say be reborn. As I said before, this is not a recycling task. It is the beauty of death. You must die to the former self, which is the present self, so that you may be born again from the present self, that the present self will in fact be the former self. And then you have to get to the point to where you don't even refer back to who you were anymore. That person is completely dead. So it's a journey. Anytime you catch yourself, oh man, I used to be like this, I used to be so evil, that person still exists because you're still acknowledging this person. You're still acknowledging. Totally die. Being that person, not even just the acts of the organism, but even in the mind and in the heart. Absolutely die of that person. That's the beauty of death. So you really don't start living until you totally die. You have to totally die to the former self in order for you to produce a redemption of yourself. But as long as you going around and you're stabbing people in the back and you're talking against people who once cared about you, you're not a righteous human being. You're one of the most dangerous human beings on this planet. And you are mostly dangerous to yourself, because the people who you have this dangerous intention towards, see, people like us, we're able to say, I've gotten past it. And we will even say that to you when we know that you were the one that was behind it. But the reason why we have the strength to say, I've gotten past it and I've moved forward, it only means exactly what I just said. I've died of the person who was disappointed in you, and I've moved forward. However, I can't be around you because you're that inhumane human being. And so we don't have anything in common anymore. We don't have anything in common anymore. So people may say, well, you're judging them. Well, look, let me tell you something. What's the point of knowing what's right and wrong when you can't judge the type of people that you shouldn't associate yourself with for the betterment of your journey? It's the way of the world. See, in these killing fields, you have to be wise. You have to be a wise general, even unto yourself. As I said again, Brother Richard Pryor has said, during displaying his character Mudbone on an album that was titled, Was It Something That I Said? And so with this character, he said, you don't get to be old being no fool. You know, and we all talk about the age of the flesh. It's not about the flesh. It's about here. In the heart. When you're foolish in your mind and in your heart, you do unjustly things to yourself while doing it to other people. But when you live a long life, it only implies that you've made some right decisions in your life journey that has gotten you to this point. And you should celebrate that every day. You should celebrate that. That the Creator has blessed you with a natural intelligence for you to utilize, so that when you do go into this killing field, you're able to survive and you're able to get this beautiful grant like this, because you haven't made a whole lot of foolish decisions in your life. You look at this generation today, they mock people who are older. And until we as elders, and not just old people, educate this generation and let them know the reason why we have made it this far is because we made a lot of right decisions with our lives. And you are not exempt from making right decisions in your life. And you are not exempt from aging. You know, that's why I tell a whole lot of people who says, I have perfect health. There's no such thing as perfect health in terms of this organism. Because as soon as you are pulled from the womb, this organism, it begins to diminish. It's called aging. And so, as I said before, it's about time and purpose. So that's one of the reasons why I never stand in the way of anybody's purpose. I never sabotage anybody's efforts, and I never sabotage anything that a person has earned that is coming towards them. I never sabotage that, because you pay a huge price of getting in the way of things like that. You know, and the Creator will allow you to do that because it's your choice. If you put that in the universe, just know that in time it's going to come back to you. The one who you did it to, he or she, they good. because the only thing you did was teach them another lesson. And their healing is going to be in control of me. So I'm going to make certain that I give them an intelligence and a wisdom to where when that time of healing has ended, they are not just as evil as you are, or walking around hurt and bitter as you are with your life. They are going to be just fine. And these are the people that are able to tell you, I've gotten past it and I've moved forward. So you do harm to yourself when you try to hurt other people. You do an unjust to your life when you do unjust things to other people. It's just that simple. This is not something deep. It's very simple. So I tell you young people, as well as people around my age, when you go to these plantations, these institutions, I'm not saying be weary of people. No, I'm just saying be wise. Understand why you're there. Remember, the day that you filled out and applied yourself for the job, make certain that your mind stays exactly where it is. Because even before you went to the institution, you knew why you was going there. You're trying to get your life in order or back in order. And so when you are due for a promotion, and when the time comes for the promotion according to the institution, and even at that time according to oneself, it's time. I get myself together now. I'm ready. And then you are working right along the side of someone who's evil, who was running his or her mouth, trying to make matters bad for you. They actually think that due to the fact that they sabotage your time for that promotion, they actually think that they were successful in doing so. But as you grow, you understand it's just not my time yet. And that's what it all boils down to. It's not them. It's not those institutions. When it's time for your promotion, it's going to be by the will of the Creator, the will of God, the will of Allah, the will of Yahweh, the will of the divine, or whatever relationship that you have with the Creator in terms of a name or a title. Keep in mind, it is not the will of man, but it is the will of the Creator. So they haven't done anything. And when you are risen to that clarity, the hurt, the disappointment, and the stress diminishes, because truth has come into the soul, and truth has came into the mind. And when truth enters, wisdom, intelligence, acceptance, the power of acceptance, brother, is present. And you have more blessings coming your way because you have totally submit to do the will of God. So those people who came against you, it wasn't nothing but a time for you to realize the serpents and the vipers that were about you. But now that you know, and you survived it, and you decided to move forward, you do just that. You keep moving forward, and you keep living out your life journey. You keep living out your life journey, and you continue to be successful. I needed to repeat something very important, regardless of what religion you say you belong to. Even if you don't serve in a religion and you call yourself a spiritual human being. Wanted to bring up the Muslim prayer again. As it said, surely I have turned myself to thee, O Allah, one who created the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. I have been very ungrateful to myself. Okay? What's most important, it says, surely I have turned myself to thee. Honestly, I have turned myself to thee. Certainly, I have turned myself to thee. It says, O Allah. O Allah. Okay? That implies a strong sense of honesty and love to Allah. Because I'm serious. I've surely turned myself to thee. Now the Bible says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and heal your land. I needed to bring that up because when I finished the video and Muslim prayer came to me, and the way that it opens up has always touched me, because they're telling you I'm honest, I'm sincere in my turning from myself. I turn myself to thee after I've turned myself from my present self, that my present self may become my former self. To in time, my former self is no longer a memory. That's being totally born again. Totally born again. And see, all of that lines up with what we need to do as human beings, even if you're no part of a religion. It's something. Everything is about the betterment of humanity and not the destruction of it. Excuse me. The reason why I keep doing this is because the way that I was born, the way that I was raised, I'm a very modest man, you know, and so I'm only going to show you so much, you know. It's just, to me, it's just a problem. But, and so actually I'm going to start dressing a little bit more modest than this. But when it comes to redemption, and everyone who knows me, how much I love the act of redemption. I mean, any movie that I watch that's dealing with redemption, even if it's the bloodiest, the most graphic movie, what I love about movies, even horror movies, is when they reach that point of redemption, redeeming themselves. And so this is another reason why I took this time to address all of those things on the plantation, because all of us need to think about how we treat one another and how ambition will turn us into monsters because we are trying to get somewhere in life. But if you are willing to do other people unjust, once you get there, you won't be there long. You know how A lot of people say, what goes up must come down. It must come down. If when you were going up, you were on that path of going up, but you've done some evil. So when you get to the top, you must come down, because that's the law of karma in the universe. However, if you travel upward towards success, and you get to the pinnacle of success, and you're not greedy and constantly lusting for more and desiring more, and when humility sets in, comfort sets in, acceptance sets in, and first time I talked to Spike Lee on the phone, he told me, he said, Dave, you want to know something? He said, a lot of us need to know when enough is enough. He said, if you're the type of person, because he asked me, okay, how much wealth do you want to accumulate with your writing? I told him 12 million would do me fine, because I live a very modest and quiet, introverted type life. All I want is a 4-bedroom home, a nice 2-story bedroom home, 4-bedroom home, a 2-story home, a couple of nice vehicles that are reliable, and enough room for my 2 sons when they want to visit. That's it. That's all I want. And all I want to do is just write. I want to write beautiful stories in terms of what I just spoke of, which is redemption. That's it. I'm happy with that, or less. I mean, of course, as much as I love to write, there's going to be some more wealth coming in. However, I know that I have enough, and that maintains humility. So the reason why I bring that up is because he said that as long as people are going to continue to want more and more and more, and they can't get enough, those people are the ones that are slaves. Those people are the ones that are ambitious and who will hurt anyone to get more and more and more. And at the same time, they'll never get enough. They will never get enough. So I bring that up. Shout out to Spike Lee. I bring that up because when you get to the top, let's think of terms of the pyramids, okay? You're going to the top of the pyramid, okay? You're going to the top, and you're being greatly unjust to yourself, like the Muslim prayer says. And then when you reach the top, you're going to come down because of the way that you went up. But when you get to the pinnacle, and you're at peace, you're able to stay at the top because of your humility and because you didn't hurt anybody on the way up. And due to the fact that you didn't hurt anybody on the way up, that is what's going to maintain where you are. You won't have to go down. So this is why I had mentioned, yeah, you will hurt others to get where you are. You will step on others to get where you are. You're going to do the evil. You're going to talk behind people's back. You're going to do all of these things. And as soon as you get to the top of where you want to be, it's only a matter of time when you start coming down due to the fact of how you treated yourself and therefore others, but how you got to the top. It's only a matter of time. I mean, if it's a matter of time for Satan to do his bidding, or Shaitan, like the Muslim says, it's only a matter of time. If it's only a matter of time for Satan, you better believe it's only a matter of time for you. So with all this being said, this is why I always end my videos by saying, stay human. And you know, even in the Muslim prayers where it says, greatly, surely I have turned myself to thee, O Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. And then they say, I have been very ungrateful unto myself. They say trying to be upright. The trying to be implies I'm a human being. Yet still I'm a human being that is trying my hardest to be upright. Try to be upright. You will benefit from it. And when you become successful, due to the fact that you didn't try to hurt others or step on anyone, you will enjoy your success for a very long time, all the way to this, until this organism has served its purpose on this beautiful planet. Only then will you be able to rest in peace. So with all of that being said, I thank everyone for listening, whoever was listening. And like Spike said, just do the right thing. He didn't say try to do the right thing, just do the right thing. All right? Everybody stay human. Peace.